The doctors couldn't explain it, but the results kept appearing anyway. People recovered, inflammation dropped, wounds healed faster, and every time researchers traced it back, it led to the same place. Not a lab, not a pharmaceutical company, but a plant, an ancient one. What if the most powerful healing compounds on Earth were never invented, only discovered thousands of years ago, written down, and then quietly ignored? Because that's exactly what's happening. Modern science isn't creating something new, it's confirming something very old. And today, you're about to see 13 of those foods, documented in ancient texts, used for centuries, and now backed by real biological mechanisms. Some of these are already in your kitchen, you just don't realize what they're doing inside your body. And the first one has been sitting in plain sight your entire life. Number 1. Olive oil wasn't just food in the ancient world, it was medicine, fuel, and protection all at once. Entire civilizations depended on it, not occasionally, but daily. Consumed, applied to wounds, and used in rituals that carried both physical and symbolic meaning. And the reason they kept using it wasn't tradition, it was results. Today, when scientists break down extra virgin olive oil, they consistently find a compound called oleocancel, which behaves in the body almost identically to certain anti-inflammatory drugs, targeting the same enzymes and pathways that drive inflammation. But unlike those drugs, it doesn't damage the body over time, it supports it. Olive oil is also rich in polyphenols that prevent LDL cholesterol from oxidizing, which is the exact process that leads to arterial damage and heart disease. In other words, it doesn't just reduce risk, it interrupts the mechanism that causes it. And just like ancient healers practiced, applying olive oil to the skin has been shown to reduce bacterial activity and support wound healing. They didn't know the chemistry, but they understood the outcome. And now, thousands of years later, science is finally catching up to what they already knew. Number 2. Raw honey was never just a sweetener. It was one of the most stable and medicinal substances ever found in nature. Jars of honey discovered in ancient tombs, thousands of years old, were still perfectly preserved, still usable, still active, something almost no other natural food on Earth can do. And there's a reason for that. Raw honey contains a combination of hydrogen peroxide, methyl glyoxal, and B-defensin-1, 3 powerful antimicrobial compounds that work together to destroy harmful bacteria. Modern studies have shown it can inhibit even antibiotic-resistant strains, something that continues to challenge modern medicine. But honey doesn't just fight infection, it builds resilience. It feeds beneficial gut bacteria, reduces inflammation in the digestive tract, and accelerates wound healing when applied directly to the skin. And yet, most of what people buy today has been stripped of these properties through heating and processing. What ancient cultures used wasn't refined, it was raw, unfiltered, alive, and that difference changes everything. Number 3. Garlic was never valued for its flavor alone, it was relied on as protection. Ancient laborers, soldiers, and entire populations consumed it daily, not because it tasted good, but because it kept them functioning under extreme conditions. When modern science examined garlic more closely, it identified a compound called allicin. But here's the catch. Allicin doesn't exist until garlic is crushed or chopped. It's created in that moment as a defense mechanism, and if it's cooked too quickly, the effect is lost. When activated properly, allicin shows strong antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal activity, while also supporting cardiovascular health by lowering blood pressure and improving cholesterol balance. It even stimulates white blood cell activity, strengthening the immune response at a cellular level. What ancient cultures observed through experience, science is now able to measure. Garlic wasn't just part of the diet, it was part of survival. And when used correctly, it still is. Number 4. Frankincense was never just a fragrance, it was one of the most valued healing substances in the ancient world. In some regions, it was worth more than gold, not because of its scent, but because of what it did to the body and mind. Modern analysis has identified boswellic acids as its primary active compounds, and what they do is highly specific. They inhibit an enzyme called 5-LOX, one of the key drivers of chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation sits at the root of conditions like arthritis, asthma, and even neurodegenerative diseases. But it goes deeper than that. Another compound in frankincense, incensol acetate, has been shown to directly affect the brain, activating pathways that reduce anxiety and promote a sense of calm. When ancient people burned frankincense in enclosed spaces, they weren't just creating atmosphere, they were inhaling compounds that actively influenced their nervous system. What looked like ritual was also chemistry. Number 5. Figs were used in ways that seem surprisingly precise, especially considering how long ago those practices began. In ancient accounts, crushed figs were applied directly to infected wounds and boils, and in at least one recorded case, recovery followed shortly after. Today, scientists understand why. Figs contain an enzyme called phycin, which breaks down proteins and can help remove damaged tissue while inhibiting bacterial growth. It's a natural form of debridement, something modern medicine still relies on. But the impact of figs doesn't stop at the surface. Compounds within figs, including certain benzaldehydes, have shown the ability to slow the growth of abnormal cells in laboratory settings. They are also rich in fiber that feeds gut bacteria and helps regulate blood sugar after meals. What ancient healers applied externally and consumed internally wasn't random, it aligned closely with what the body actually needed. Number 6. Pomegranates were consistently associated with abundance and vitality, but beneath that symbolism is one of the most chemically powerful fruits studied in modern nutrition. The key compounds, punicalagins, are exceptionally potent antioxidants, capable of reducing oxidative stress at levels significantly higher than many other well-known foods, and oxidative stress is one of the primary drivers of aging and cardiovascular disease. Clinical studies have shown that regular consumption of pomegranate can improve blood flow, reduce arterial plaque, and lower markers of inflammation in the bloodstream. But what makes it even more interesting is its effect on cellular signaling. Certain compounds in pomegranate have been linked to slowing the progression of hormone-related cancers and supporting cognitive function over time. Number 7. Hyssop is one of those plants that appears repeatedly in ancient texts, always connected to cleansing, purification, or healing, yet today almost no one talks about it. And that's surprising, because when scientists analyzed its chemical profile, they found compounds like carvacrol and thymol, the same powerful antimicrobials present in oregano oil. These compounds don't just slow bacteria, they actively break down bacterial cell walls, making them highly effective against infections. Hyssop also acts as a natural expectorant, helping to clear mucus from the respiratory system, which explains why it was traditionally used for coughs, congestion, and lung conditions. Its volatile oil stimulates circulation and even promotes sweating, a natural mechanism the body uses to regulate fever. What ancient cultures described as cleansing turns out to be a combination of antimicrobial action and detox-supporting processes that modern science can now clearly identify. Number 8. Dates were more than just a source of sweetness in the desert, they were survival. Entire groups of people sustained themselves for extended periods on little more than dates and water. And nutritionally, that starts to make sense. Dates contain a unique balance of natural sugars, glucose, fructose, and sucrose that provide immediate energy without the sharp crash associated with refined sugar. But beyond energy, they deliver a dense package of micronutrients and protective compounds. Flavonoids like luteolin, along with carotenoids such as beta-carotene and zeaxanthin, contribute to reducing oxidative stress and supporting eye health. Studies have also shown that regular consumption of dates can lower triglyceride levels and improve markers of metabolic health. Number 9. Almonds were never just a snack. They were considered a complete food, something that could sustain and restore the body at the same time. Modern nutritional analysis confirms why. Almonds are one of the richest natural sources of vitamin E, a fat-soluble antioxidant that protects cell membranes from oxidative damage, particularly in the skin, eyes, and immune system. They also provide significant amounts of magnesium, which plays a critical role in regulating blood pressure, blood sugar, and nerve function. But what makes almonds especially interesting is how they interact with metabolic health. Regular consumption has been linked to improved insulin sensitivity and reduced risk of cardiovascular disease. Large-scale population studies have shown that people who consume nuts frequently, especially almonds, have significantly lower rates of heart-related conditions. In a world dominated by processed foods, almonds stand out as something structurally complete, delivering fats, protein, fiber, and micronutrients in a balance that the body recognizes immediately. Number 10. Grapes were never just fruit. They were considered a source of life, and modern science is starting to explain why. The skin of grapes, especially darker varieties, contains a compound called resveratrol, which has been intensely studied for its role in activating sirtuins, a group of proteins often referred to as longevity genes. These proteins are directly involved in regulating aging, inflammation, and cellular repair. In simple terms, they help your body maintain itself longer. But it doesn't stop there. Grape seeds contain oligomeric proanthocyanidins, powerful antioxidants that outperform both vitamin C and vitamin E in certain conditions, protecting cells from oxidative damage at a much deeper level. Regular consumption of grapes has been linked to improved cardiovascular health, reduced inflammation, and better blood pressure regulation. What ancient cultures treated as a symbol of abundance turns out to be one of the most biologically active fruits for long-term health. Number 11. Lentils may look simple, but they are one of the most functionally complete plant foods ever cultivated. For thousands of years, they were a staple, not because people lacked options, but because lentils delivered exactly what the body needed. They're exceptionally high in plant-based protein, providing sustained energy and supporting muscle repair. But what makes them truly powerful is their effect on metabolic health. Lentils are rich in soluble fiber, which slows digestion, stabilizes blood sugar, and feeds beneficial gut bacteria. This creates a cascade of effects, from improved cholesterol levels to reduced inflammation. They're also one of the best natural sources of folate, essential for DNA synthesis and repair, along with iron in a form that the body can actually use. Long-term studies have shown that regular consumption of legumes like lentils is associated with significantly lower risk of heart disease. What appears to be a basic food is, in reality, a highly efficient system for maintaining internal balance. Number 12. Barley is one of the oldest grains on Earth, yet it has quietly disappeared from most modern diets, replaced by more processed alternatives. And that shift may have come at a cost. Barley contains a specific type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan, which behaves differently from most fibers. When consumed, it forms a gel-like substance in the digestive tract, slowing down glucose absorption and reducing cholesterol reabsorption at the same time. This dual action has been shown to significantly improve blood sugar control and lower LDL cholesterol levels. In fact, barley is one of the few foods that has received official recognition for its role in reducing heart disease risk. But beyond cardiovascular health, it also feeds beneficial gut bacteria, supporting a microbiome that influences everything from immunity to mood. What was once a staple grain turns out to be one of the most metabolically supportive foods we've overlooked. Number 13. Moringa is often called the miracle tree, but that label only makes sense once you understand what's actually inside it. Unlike most plants that are strong in one or two nutrients, moringa operates on a completely different level. Its leaves contain extremely high concentrations of essential vitamins, minerals, and amino acids, making it one of the most nutrient-dense foods ever studied. But the real power of moringa lies in its bioactive compounds, particularly a group called isothiocyanates, which have been shown to directly suppress inflammatory pathways in the body. And inflammation, as we now know, is at the root of many chronic diseases. Studies have demonstrated moringa's ability to lower blood sugar, protect liver function, and reduce markers of oxidative stress. In regions where it grows naturally, it has been used to combat malnutrition with measurable success. What ancient cultures recognized through experience, modern science is now validating through data. It's not just a plant, it's a system, one that supports the body at multiple levels simultaneously. 13 foods, 13 plants, all of them used long before modern medicine existed, and all of them now backed by real, measurable science. Not hidden in a lab, not locked behind a prescription, but growing in the ground, exactly where they've always been. And somewhere between ancient knowledge and modern research, a pattern starts to emerge. The body isn't just reacting to these foods, it's recognizing them, responding to them in ways that feel almost designed. Maybe the question isn't why these plants work. Maybe the real question is why we ever stopped paying attention to them. If even one of these surprised you, share this with someone who needs to see it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time, because this is just the beginning, and there's a lot more most people still haven't been told. Take care of your body. It's the only system you have that's built to last a lifetime.